Greetings, adventurers, and welcome back to Newdeath Gaming. I am your adventurer guide, Michael Gray, and I am here to take you on a wonderful, pleasant journey into HomeQuest. I had a request from a channel friend who wanted me to start HomeQuest from the beginning and talk about some of the elements of it. So we're going to treat this like a first look / tutorial. I don't know if we're going to get into a lot of Let's Play, but we'll try to build some buildings, create some scenarios, and try to get into how it works to start your game off, build up your particular towns, get some workers, do some of the things that you need to do in the game. As always, if this is your first time on the channel, please like, subscribe, and leave me a comment if you have a question. I'll try to get back with you if I can. And there is also a section in the More section of HomeQuest that has a complete tutorial section which teaches you how to play the game. It has a lot of tutorial elements. It's got a lot of instruction. It's got a lot of demonstrations. So definitely take advantage of the More section in HomeQuest. Also, take advantage of my description, which has a lot of other games which are completely blind accessible, visually impaired accessible, and I am here for the community, the blind community, to review, play games, entertain you when it comes to blind accessibility. That's the whole point of my channel. That's the whole reason why I'm here, and I take this as the most important mission that I have when it comes to this channel. Also, if you have never checked out a game that is text-based, you're going to want to know a couple of things. Number one, there are no graphics. What graphics that are visually, I guess you could say, seeable, are just maybe a black background, white text, a few boxes. And also be aware that HomeQuest has some small graphic images that are in boxes. They don't affect the gameplay, but if you are using visual methods, you'll be able to notice these little boxes. Also, be aware that VoiceOver will sometimes read images inside of graphic boxes. It will say something like mana, pot, sword, house, farm. Those are just not going to be completely accurate or important. I would basically ignore them. They're not going to help you navigate around this game. This game really works really well by using all the normal voiceover commands that are available on your iOS device or your Mac device, depending on what you're using. It is completely accessible, and you're definitely going to be able to move around pretty quickly. And once you get the gist of how the menu system works, it's pretty good. There are really no counterintuitive methods that are built into this game. There are a couple of improvements to quickly analyze and make creations in all your towns once you open up more towns. So let me throw out these disclaimers. So spoiler alerts, there are many really cool things that you can open up. So I don't want to spoil these for you. So if you're planning on playing this game, this is going to have a lot of spoilers. So just want to caution you to that. I'm going to be opening up a can of worms about a lot of the cool effects that exist inside of HomeQuest. Alright. HomeQuest is very much a city builder, war game, simulator, tactics game, resource management game, exploration game. It's got a lot of cool elements to it, but at its essence, it is mostly a game where you build up your towns to the point that they're self-sufficient. You have food coming in, you have workers farming, you are getting resources mined, you are creating resources, you are manufacturing, you are upgrading your town, buying monuments, improving your workers' lives, making better places for them to live as far as where they're going to stay, their residences, and that's it. From there, there's going to be more and more upgraded means for you to improve your civilization. So take it step by step, and you'll basically get the hang of it. Also want to throw a big shout out to iMovie and to Naturespace for the wonderful, beautiful sound. I wanted to use this sound today because I thought it would really fit in well with the theme of building our whole entire civilization from scratch. So Naturespace, live, work, play, study, meditate, anything you want to do, research, have background ambience. Naturespace is my favorite app, and it does everything I want it to do. It's one of my favorite tools. It really, really takes care of you. It's what got me through the entire virus, the entire 2020. So, yeah, Naturespace is great, and I often have it. Want to thank them so much for their wonderfulness, their accessibility, generosity, and just the fact that they are a very, very nice and kind developer. Really appreciate them. And I want to appreciate you, all my subscribers, channel friends, and everyone else listening. And definitely want to make you aware of how some of these games work. So I'll usually tell you what I'm doing whenever I'm doing it. Sometimes my voiceover will be set to a slower speed, just so I can do two things at the same time. My normal voiceover speed is set to 90, but for the purposes of this video, I'm going to turn it down to 55.
Headings, volume, speaking rate, 85, 60%, 55%, 60%.
Maybe 60% is better.
Lines.
And I usually put it on headings. I don't recall whether Home Quest utilizes headings. I'll find out in a second.
Words, character, headings. Heading not found. Heading not found.
No, it's not going to utilize headings, so let's not worry about that.
Another life. Welcome. You find yourself in an unknown place. Unsure of what these lands might hold. You decide it's best to grow your settlement. Hurry and assign your workers to gather resources and construct your first buildings. Don't starve and build a farm. Image. Food decreasing.
So, basically our intro is another life. You find yourself in a strange place, in a strange land. You must build a farm and start your settlement. So we are going to get started on that. So the first thing is you're going to start on this screen. You can read through the text as many times as you want. Let's see if two-finger swipe down works.
Another life. Welcome.
Yes, great. All right, so there are looking like we've got your typical left and right swipes working. We've got our two-finger swipe down from the top of the screen. That's going to read the entire page, and that's very much best practices. Whenever you can hear the entire page, that makes it so if we are analyzing our whole setup, then we know exactly what we need to do. Also, I think the three-finger up and down works. Three-finger left and right.
You find yourself in an unknown...
No. I don't have three-finger up and down working at this point. It may not be necessary because this is just a very short paragraph.
Another life. Selected. Log. Button.
All right. Now let's talk a little bit about what log means. So log is the information that the narrator of the story talks to you about. Think about it as a mysterious dungeon master like I am, like your mystical, magical, mysterious, strange, dungeon master. And that's kind of what this narration is. And you're going to want to go back to that to find out what you discovered, what new things are available, what your new missions are. It's kind of like your quest giver in another way, if that's a little easier to think about it that way.
Town. Button.
Now, once you get past that, you're going to get to the tabs. Now, or just the menu, kind of like bullets.
Selected. Another life. Welcome. Another life. Selected. Log. Button. Town. Button.
Okay, town. That's going to tell us our town. I'm going to keep swiping through, and then we'll go through each one individually.
Treasury. Button.
Treasury is going to give you your straight-up statistics about everything you have.
Workers. Button.
Workers, self-explanatory. Those are your workers.
Question mark. Dim. Button.
And that's off right now, so that's going to be another tab that will open up later.
Worker. Treasure. Town. Button.
Let's go ahead and open up town and double tap that.
To population.
Okay. So you're going to hear your population, and that is very, very important because population is the whole point. Getting population allows you to open up lots of opportunities to explore, find items, to get really cool stuff, to work the mines, to just do everything, do construction. The more workers you have, the more population you have, the more workers you have, the more army you have. So there's a lot of things that matter when it comes to population. So that's a very primary statistic.
Gold edition.
Now you're going to hear the second thing as I swipe to the right, gold edition. You can go ahead and buy yourself the gold edition. It starts off, I think, with the silver edition. I would highly suggest just purchasing the gold edition. You don't want commercials anywhere in your game apps, especially when we're swiping left and right. I don't like to accidentally touch a commercial. And, you know, I've had experiences with a lot of apps. It's really hard to get out of commercials, and even sometimes the Z motion doesn't get you out of it. Sometimes you're forced just to close it. Now, I'm not saying that's happening here in Home Quest because I usually support every single developer's game that is accessible. It's very rare that I won't buy the upgraded version of any game that's blind accessible. I maybe wouldn't buy the upgraded version if I didn't like the game at all, but I usually download only games that are part of the genres. Now, for Newdeath Gaming, our channel was mostly dedicated to role-playing, dungeon crawlers, hex crawlers, things like that. We like action games occasionally, but we really like more of a tactical sense of games. I think action games are great, but they just don't tickle my intellectual fancy. I prefer games that require you to think, to plan, to strategize, to maybe take notes, come up with a strategy, compare notes with friends, think about creating tutorials, think about how you can better beat it. You know, I like games. I don't care if the game is linear or not. I want the game to be strategic. And if it's strategic, it could be linear, it could be open world, it could be whatever. Long as the game is difficult, challenging, keeps me going, keeps me interested, keeps me enticed, those are the kind of things I'm looking for. And like I said, I love medieval, fantasy, role-playing, city builders, stuff like that, construction. And I've always had this complaint that there are not enough games that, you know, tickle the intellectual fancy for people in the blind community. We need more games. I'm not looking for simplistic games as much as I'm looking for fun games when it comes to action. Now, games like Blind Drive are great. Sweetie Belle plays that game. There are some other worlds. She played Earword Cookie, which are cute, and those are great. Those are on the verge of educational, and definitely they're great. You know, improving your brain. You know, so
Food.
Okay, so food.
Gold edition. 2 population. Gold edition. Food.
All right, so food is extremely important. If you don't have enough food, then you can't get your workers, your army to fight, your workers to build, your army to fight. You can't do any construction. You can't do any building. Okay?
Decreasing.
Now, it gives you some statistics informational, and it just said decreasing. That just means that we need to create a farm so that we are getting a positive in food. As long as you have people, they're eating. So if they're eating, your food's decreasing. And if you're not increasing your food, the game will just tell you it's decreasing. So that is, of course, our first mission, is to build a farm.
Minus 0.2.
Minus 0.2. That gives you an idea of how much your food how much your food surplus is decreasing by. The higher that number, the quicker your food is reducing by.
Question mark. Dimmed. Button.
Okay, so that's dimmed.
Question mark. Dimmed.
And that will open up if there's something for us to learn.
Selected. Production. Button.
All right.
Question mark. Minus 0.2. Question mark. Selected. Production. Button.
Okay, now we're going to get into the main working controls for you as the powerful controller, kind of like godlike figure who kind of controls these towns. You're going to have these categories to make changes and create things in your town.
Question mark. Selected. Production.
So
Button.
when you hear selected, that means you are currently on that item. So we are currently on the production item. If we want to find out what's in the production menu, we're going to have to double tap that. But let's go ahead and go through the entire menu. As my usual method is, I'll go through the entire page and then I'll go back through each one of the menu categories, so you have a very strong sense of exactly what each one of these menu items does.
Question mark. Dim. Button. Have 0. Farm. Increases farmer. Have. Question mark. Selected. Question mark. -0. Decreasing. Food. Decreasing. -0.2. Question mark. Dim. Button. Selected. Production. Question mark. Dim. Button. Have 0. Cost. Wood. 20. Not enough.
Okay. So you're going to hear a certain, you have 0. Okay, so the way HomeQuest works is it tells you what you have before you get to the item that it's talking about. So if I was to say you have bricks, the HomeQuest would say have 1 brick. Or if I was to say you had wood, HomeQuest would say have 1 wood. So it's going to tell you how much you have before it says the item. Now some games will go wood 7, bricks 7. And that's not how, so HomeQuest does it a little bit different that way. Now it's not the only game that does it that way. But that's just how it's done. So don't be confused if you hear a number before you hear the description of how much of that number, what it is.
Farm. Increases farmer jobs by 2. Image.
All right. So you're going to hear that this increases the farmer jobs by 2. So when you build certain buildings, you're going to improve your number of jobs. Some buildings do not make jobs happen. Some buildings do. So it just depends. Listen carefully. Take some notes if you need to. But you're going to usually memorize these things. When you're playing a game, usually play it enough times, you start to memorize what causes what.
Build. Dim. Button.
Now, the last part, as I swipe to the right, you heard build. That's B-U-I-L-D. So that just means if we have the required items, we can build this. Now, if everything is being spoken too quickly, simply activate your rotor.
Volume. Speaking rate. Words.
And we can go ahead and go item by item, just so we hear everything.
Build. Build. Gold edition. Food. Decreasing. -0.2.
And we can swipe up or down.
-0.2.
-0.2.
Question mark. Dim. Selected. Production. Button. Question mark. Dim. Have 0. Cost. Have 0.
And as you can hear, I can use the rotor to go word by word, if necessary, character by character, to make sure I know exactly what each category is. And that's best practices when it comes to analyzing games that are text-based. Go ahead and use your character by character if you need to, if it's a very strange spelling of a word, like a magic spell. Also, I have a hearing disability, so sometimes there are words that I don't hear really well in my left side. So usually what I'll do is, if I don't think I hear the word correctly, I'll turn my speaking rate down first. But if that's not the problem, it's usually my hearing. And so with that, if you have a hearing disability, what you can do is just individually swipe through word by word or character by character. Or you could even slow your speaking rate down. I will sometimes repeat lines if I didn't hear it correctly. Of course, having a little bit of sound in the background can be a little distracting to hearing what the particular game text is. But in this case, I'm very familiar with HomeQuest, so it's not a very huge distraction.
Farm. Increases farmer jobs by 2. Image.
All right.
Build. Dim. Log. Button.
Now, at the end of that build, it's going to go back to log button. So you can log and go back to finding out what you're working on, what your quest is, what you've unlocked, okay?
Selected. Town. Button.
Now we're on town. Let's keep going through these categories.
Treasury. Button.
Let's go ahead and tap treasury and find out what items are in this area.
Selected. Treasury.
All right. Treasury's been activated. Let's go ahead and listen to the things in Treasury.
Workers. Button. Select tab. Log. Empty in 40s. Minus. Wood. Food. Deep. Food. Gold. 2 population.
Okay. I'm going to the very top. Of course, you can forefinger. Let's make sure that works.
More. Button.
Okay. Yep, that went to the bottom.
2 population.
And I forefinger tapped the top, and we went to the top. So go ahead and forefinger tap to go to the top. Forefinger tap near the bottom of the screen to get to the very last tab on this particular screen. Okay, so we're now on this treasury section. So the first thing we heard was our population. That's universally going to always be represented on most of the pages.
Gold edition. Food.
You're going to always hear Gold Edition, which tells you that what version you're playing, either the free or the paid version. It's a one-time cost for the Gold Edition. I think it's somewhere around $3. It's a very, very low cost. Please just go ahead and purchase it. You'll thank me. Trust me. I always just buy it. I don't waste time. Like, it's a couple bucks. If it helps a developer make more games that are as beautiful and wonderful as this, I'm down.
Starving. Need more farmers.
All right, so now we just got our first notification warning, and that's not good. So we're starving. So we definitely need to get more food. All right. So this game is this is a hybrid. Okay, it's a turn-based game when it comes to the menus, but it's also a real-time strategy game when it comes to the battling and combat, which I'll get into more explanation little by little as we go here. So everything kind of happens at the same time. But the beauty of it is you can get through menu by menu and fix all your problems. And things don't fall apart so quickly that you can't fix them. So you can fix problems in a turn-based way. But when it comes to combat, that's going to be real time. Everything just starts happening. So there are a lot of things in this game that are also going to be idle. So you've got those 3 genres. So you've got turn-based, you've got idle, and you've got real-time strategy. So those are a lot of strategy elements. And of course, you've got the typical text-based description, audio descriptions that are read by the narrator in the game. So there are a lot of elements which are really great. Really want to say the developers did an outstanding job of adding so many different elements to this game, which makes it really fun.
Minus 0.2.
Okay, so we're starving. We have minus 0.2 food.
Food. 0. Wood. 0% full.
Okay,
Stable.
so now
Heading.
we're hearing the food. Now you're going to hear all the different resources that we have.
Food. 0% full. Decreasing
have-
by minus 0.2.
All right.
Heading.
This is you're going to want to word by word this until you learn what this is. So each resource, they're going to tell you how much of the resource you have.
Wood. 0% full. Stable.
It's
Heading.
going to tell you how much, it's going to tell you how much you have, how much it's increasing by.
Minus 0.2 to population. Total. Minus 0.2. Log. Wood. Food. 0. Wood. 0% full. Stable.
The percentage full.
Minus 0.2 to population. Total. Minus 0.2.
Minus 2 to population.
Log. Button.
And then it's back to
Town.
log.
Button.
All right, so each one of the items that you have now, remember, we only are showing wood right now, but we're going to have a lot more. We're going to have dozens of resources by the time we're done here. But let's just start this off really relax and enjoy ourselves and kind of learn each one of these basic resources, because once you learn the basic resources, you will know exactly what to do whenever you open up a new town. All right, let's keep moving.
Selected. Treasury. Workers. Button.
Let's go ahead and double tap on workers.
Selected. Workers.
All right, let's go up to the top.
Bottom of screen. 2 population.
Okay, forefinger tap and you'll be at the top of the screen.
Gold edition. Food.
All right, we're going to hear food first.
Starving. Need more farmers.
It's going to tell us that we're starving. So that's going to be our notification bar, basically.
Minus 0.2.
Then that's how much food we're losing.
2 free workers.
Now we get to hear important information that we didn't hear before. How many free workers we have. We have 2 free workers. Now that number grows as our population grows. And we can improve that number as we do further upgrades to our town.
Resources. Logger. Increases wood by 0.5.
Okay. Now we've heard our first occupation, a logger. So a logger can go get us wood, and they can do lots of things related to wood.
0/30.
We can have up to 30 loggers. So that 0/30 is really simple. The first number is the first part of that variable is going to be the current number of loggers, or whatever job that you're looking at. That's going to be how many are currently doing that job. The second number of that variable is going to be the maximum number of people that can do that job. So it's going to be a number slash a number. That number can be increased, so don't worry if the number is too low for whatever you're planning. You'll be able to upgrade and make it higher.
Add logger button.
Now the first thing we're going to want to do is we need to get logs if we're going to build a farm. So while we're here, we might as well start a little bit of basic strategy. So let's go ahead and get some workers building this farm, doing this job, and then we'll be able to start building. So let's go ahead and put a worker here.
0/add logger button.
Go ahead.
1 free 1.
So, did you hear that? So it said 1 free 1. So what VoiceOver is saying is, for the game, HomeQuest will announce that you put a worker to work. So it's going to announce it, like it's going to say, if I was to do it rapidly, it would go 1, 1, 1 like that. And then it will stop and say how many are totally doing it. So it just announced that I've made one worker to do a job as a logger.
Remove logger button.
I can also remove the logger if I put too many. Okay, so you can double tap that.
Log button.
And then log, don't get that confused. So don't get logger confused with log. Log is just going to be our quest log. Actually, it should be just changed. Its name should be changed to quest log.
Remove logger. Add logger button.
All right, let's go ahead and add another logger.
2 free 0.
2 free 0. So we have no more free workers. Did you hear that? That means that you have no more free workers. And if you want more workers, you're going to need more population. In order to have more population, we're going to need more homes. So it's a, catch-22 when it comes to building games. Any kind of building games, you start off with a very primitive setup, and little by little, you start increasing your whole setup.
Remove logger button. Log button. Town button. Treasury selected. Workers
Okay,
button.
we've done workers.
Question mark. Dim button.
And now we get to that question mark. We're not going to be doing that right now because we have yet to unlock other areas of the game. So you're going to have these little question marks like, what is that? What is that? Well, those are just further things that you're going to unlock. You unlock those little by little, but for now, you're not ready for open world right now. And I also want to say this game does have open world elements. So you can explore and find things, and it's random. So you don't know what you're going to find. So that's the fourth element of this game. So we've got real-time strategy. We've got text-based adventure. We've got turn-based, and we've got open world strategy. So there's so many things going on, which is great.
Question mark. Dim. Question mark. Dim button.
So my workers will immediately start building up logs, and that's the idle part of it. They're going to continue to build up logs, and even if you log out, they will continue to build up logs. So let's keep moving on here.
Log button.
Let's go find out how much we have.
0 free workers. Log button. Remove logger. Add logger. 2/30. Logger. Increase resources. Question mark. Dim. Selected. Workers. Treasury. Town. Button. Log. Button.
Let's go back to town.
Button. Selected. Town.
All right, so now we have logs building up.
Have 0. Cost. Question mark. Dim. Button. Question mark. Have 0. Farm. Build. Farm. Increases farmer jobs by 2. Image.
All right, so we need to get, so we want to start getting building. So we already have some workers logging. So think about that as some people out there, some people are out there cutting down logs, cutting down wood, and they're going to be building up a stockpile of that, which we're going to be using for building our buildings.
Have 0. Question mark. Dim. Selected. Question mark. Dim. Button.
But we need to get a farm built, because if we don't get a farm built, we don't have food, because we're starving right now. Now, when you do what the narrator tells you to do, the quest giver, the dungeon master, you'll start opening up more possibilities. And what we're going to do is, let's see if we can complete this particular job we've been given to build the farm. Let's find out if the logs created what we need to build a farm. Now, whenever you want to build something, you need to have the components to build the item. Let's find out what components are required to build a farm.
Minus 0.2. Starving. Minus question mark. Dim. Selected. Production. Button. Question mark. Dim. Button. Have 0. Farm. Increases farmer jobs by 2. Image. Build. Button. Farm. Build. Button.
Oh, looks like we can build a farm. So we already know that building logs can allow us to build a farm. So that's cool. And we have a free builder. Now, some games will have you purchase builders. In this particular instance, you will also have to do that. And that's another element we will talk about in future videos. And no, I won't leave you high and dry. I will try to go through as many elements until we get this town really started. I'm going to go through several videos in a row of home quests, just to give you a really strong understanding of how the whole process and of the game starts off. So we can already build a farm because we already have 2 loggers making logs. But you might want to say, how many logs does it take? Well, let's find out.
Farm. Increases farmer jobs by 2. Have 0. Question
Let's
mark.
go to production.
Dim. Selected. Production. Button. Selected. Production. Question mark. Dim. Have 0. Farm. Increases farmer jobs by 2. Image. Build. Button. Log. Button. Selected. Town. Button. Log. Button.
Looks like it's only okay. I'm looking
Town.
to find
Button.
out and to hear how much
Treasury.
it costs
Button.
to build a farm.
Workers. Button. Question mark. Dim. Button. Work. Treasure. Selected. Town. Button. Log. Button. Build. Button. Farm. Increase. Have 0. Cost. Question mark. Dim. Button. Have 0. Farm. Inc. Build. Button. Log. Button. Selected. Log. Build. Button. Farm. Increases farmer. Build. Button.
Let me just build one.
Build.
Okay, we're building one right now, and I will find out exactly how much logs.
Farm. Increases farmer jobs by 2. Image.
Okay, that's the image thing I was talking to you about. You can ignore that.
Build. Button. 14/20. Button.
Okay, now let's talk about the building menu. You're going to hear something
Have 1.
14/20,
Cost. Wood. 30.
and then you just heard it finish. That's the cool part about home quest. It's going to announce when it completes building something, just like a real city builder does, which is really great. So, or town builder, or whatever builder you're making, it doesn't matter. It's a building game. So there's a timer countdown, depending on how incredibly complicated, complex, or whatever the building you're making. It's going to give you a number / a number. The first number is going to be the countdown, like 1, 2, 3, etc. The second number past the / is going to be the max number it needs to reach. Usually buildings are built in home quests in seconds, but they could take minutes. So you'll just become familiarized with that as you keep practicing. But we've already built our first farm.
Question mark. Dim. Have 1. Cost. Wood. 30.
Okay, we just found out how much the wood, it costs 30 wood. All we have to do to find out the cost for buildings is to start on the item. Now you're going to want to say, how do I find the item? Well, remember, go to your top of your screen and swipe down until you hear the particular building you want to build. If it says build, we can build it. And then it will give us the cost as we have available resources to build it, okay?
Farm. Increases farmer jobs by 2. Image.
It will also tell us what it increases. In this case, it increases farmer jobs by 2. Because we've built a farm, we now have 2 more jobs for farming.
Build. Button. Log. Button. Selected. Log. Build. Button.
Let's go ahead and build one more farm.
Inc. Build. Button. Build.
Let's listen to how it builds.
3/20. Button.
3/20. Did you hear that? It's building little by little. Now you could swipe to the left and right again to hear the change.
Build. 12/20.
12/20. Let's swipe to the left and then back to the right again.
Build. 17/20. Button.
As you can hear, it is increasing.
Have 2.
Which means
Cost.
now
Wood.
we
45.
have 2. So now we have 2. Did you notice something? Did you hear that? The new cost has gone up to 45 wood. That's one of the things you have to be aware of. As you continue to build structures, the cost for them will increase. So be aware of that point. All right, let's go ahead and let's go build our farm.
Question mark. Selected. Production. Utility. But minus 0.2. Utility. Selected. Production. Utility. Button.
I think let's check out utilities.
Selected.
We didn't go through
Utility.
that.
Production. Question mark. Dim. Have 1. House. Increases population cap by 2. Image.
All right. So utility is another important thing. So these are things that are basically tools. Houses are going to fall under the utilities category. We can also build a house. Let's find out how much that costs.
Build. Dim. Button. Log. Button. Selected. Town. Button. Log. Build. Dim. Button.
And it looks like we can't build a house yet.
House. Increases population cap by 2. Image. Have 1. Cost. Wood. 10. Stone. 10. Not enough.
We need 10 wood, 10 stone. So go ahead and use your rotor to swipe word by word to hear the cost. Now, you might want to have your speaking rate a little slow on that part or you might want to create a note. But that's going to basically give you the information. It's going to tell you how many you have, and then it's going to tell you what resources are required to build that item. All right.
Question mark. Dim. Production. Button. Selected. Utility. Button. Production. Button. Question mark. Production. Button.
Go back up to production.
Selected. Production. Question mark. Have 2. Farm. Increases farm. Build. Button.
Okay, we have 2 farms. Have 2. Okay, we should be getting food. Let's go up and to the top of the screen with 4-finger tap.
2 population.
And let's listen to how much food we have.
Gold edition. Food. Starving. Need more farmers. Minus 0.2.
Okay, minus 0. We still don't have enough food coming in.
Utility. Button. Selected. Production. Button. Question mark. Dim. Have 2. Cost. Wood. 45.
Okay, we do need to get some food being produced here.
Farm. Increases farmer jobs by 2.
So what we're
Image.
going to need to do, we need to give our workers work on the farm. So let's go get our workers working. We have 2 workers currently getting wood, but we need workers on the farm farming.
Build. Button. Log. Button. Selected. Town. Button. Log. Button. Build. Button. Farm. Increases farm. Have 2. Question mark. Dim. Selected. Production. Utility. But minus 0.2. Starving. Need more farm. Minus 0.2. Utility. Minus. Starving. Food. Log. Button. Question mark. Dim. But worker. Selected. Log. Button. Selected. Town. Treasury. Selected. Town.
Let's go
button.
to town.
Selected. Town. Starving. Need more farmer. Minus 0.2. Starving. Need more farmers.
Need more farmers. Okay, we need to get more farming jobs. So maybe what we need to do... Okay, we need more farming jobs.
Minus 0.2. Utility. Button. Selected. Production. Question mark. Dim. Button. Have 2. Farm. Increases farmer jobs by 2. Image. Build. Button.
Let's just build another one.
Build.
All right, we're just going to keep building these farms.
Selected. Production. Button. Utility. Button. Minus 0.2. Utility. But. Selected. Production. Button. Question mark. Have 2. Cost.
Okay, we're
wood.
building
65.
that.
Farm. Increases farmer jobs by 2. Image.
Okay, we're going to keep increasing farming jobs. And then we're going to locate where to put them to work.
Build. Button.
Oh, I know what we need to do. Let's go down to workers.
Log. Button.
Okay.
Question mark. Dim.
Let's go down
button.
to the bottom. So go to the bottom of your screen with your 4-finger tap.
Question mark. Question mark. More. But. More. Question mark. Question mark. Dim. Workers. Button.
Let's go to workers. Okay,
Selected.
that's what I made a mistake with. We're going to go to workers, and we need to assign some workers.
Starving. Need more farmer. Minus 0.2. 0 free workers.
We have 0 free workers.
Resources. Farmer. Increases food by 0.37.
Okay, there we go. Now that we have created a farm, we have created a job what workers can do called farming. But we have already given our workers a job of getting logs. So let's go ahead and reduce our workers who are working on logging and put a worker working on farming.
0/6. Add farmer. Dim. Button.
All right.
Remove farmer. Dim.
Let's go
add
back up to our
farmer. Increases food by 0.30. Resource. 0 free
go up to
workers.
our logging.
Minus 0.2. Starving. Need more farmer. Minus 0.2. Resources. Farmer. Increase 0/6. Add farmer. Remove farmer. Logger. Increases wood by 0.5. 2/30.
Okay, let's go ahead and remove We have enough wood for now. Let's go ahead and remove the 2 workers who are doing the logging.
Add logger. Dim. Remove logger. Button.
Remove
1. Free 1. 0. Free 2.
We have 2 free. Did you hear that? Now let's go ahead and put those 2 workers to work on the farm. Let's get some food because we're starving.
Add logger. 0/3. Logger. Inc. Remove farmer. Add farmer. Button.
Okay. Now that you hear that, did you hear that? Add farmer. That's what we want to do. Add a farmer.
0/6.
We have a maximum of 6 farmers that we can have.
Add farmer.
Let's add
Button.
a farmer.
1. Free 1.
And let's go ahead and add another one.
2. Free 0.
All right, great. So when you want to, once you've created a building, the key is to remember that you need to assign workers to that particular job. And that's going to be our first step in this process. But we've been doing this for a while, so why don't we take a little break here? We'll come back again tomorrow, and we will continue to work on our preliminary basic steps of home quests. We'll stay in tutorial mode. We won't get too fancy, just go step by step till we have thoroughly familiarized ourselves, and I have refamiliarized myself with all the steps of it. And you get to hear me go through the growing pains of starting this game all over again, which I've already completed already. But the good thing is I've got the grooves in the brain, so I can pretty much get us back to what we need to do. But definitely, I hope you enjoyed. This is a fantastic game. Thank you, Nature Space, for your beautiful sounds. Thank you very much, iMovie, iOS, and Apple. And thank you, subscribers and channel friends, for coming here to listen and enjoy. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. It really goes a long way to helping me and the channel grow. We are just a kind of small, kind of blind accessible channel. We're not looking for stardom. We're just looking to bring as much supportive content to the blind community when it comes to games. My life is all about games, about making games fun, making games accessible to people who are visually impaired. Those are the most important principles to me. It is my 100% goal to make that happen. Everyone should be able to play, and be able to play in an accessible way. Thank you very much. And as I always say, love yourself, each other, be kind always, and be safe out there. Wear your mask, even if you're vaccinated. And let's hang out again tomorrow. Take care.